you ready for couch time with Sonja?
You know what time it is. It is Couch Time with Sonja, and that is Sonja with a J. And we are here and excited. It has been an amazing season so far.
So much covered, so many wonderful people that we've met, and some amazing stories.
I agree. From, our young children to our entrepreneurs to people with serious stories.
We have run the gamut, and we've had fun, and again, we've had some serious stories, but nonetheless, it's been a great time on the couch.
It has been. And you know what? Our season would not be anything without you, our viewers. So we want to tell you thank you for being with us and watching. But of course, you know we want you to definitely grab a cup of coffee, grab some tea, because this is going to be good. We'll be right back.
For couch time with Sonja.
One of the most important events in life is having a baby. The closest hospital may not be the best choice for your family. Now, there's Stork Advisor. With Stork Advisor, you can keep your loved ones informed. There's a labor alert right at your fingertips. Stork Advisor even offers you a diff pregnancy tip every day. After you've had your baby, tell us about your experience and leave a Stork rating. We want to keep other expecting families like you informed. With Stork Advisor, you can know what to expect when you're expecting.
If you would like to be a guest or advertise your business on Couch Time with Sonja, I would love to hear from you. Email me. Visit couchtimewithsonya.com. And then there was life. Born to color outside the lines. Born for such a time as this. You showed up on the planet to produce a dream. You, yes you, were born with purpose, with words. Friends, imagine that your dreams can become your reality by the words you speak. It all starts today. It starts with you. Creation, formation, transformation, all begin with change. The battle is in your mind, but your voice is your weapon. Speak life, believe, prosperity, creative, daring. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Your future is unwritten. Let's begin writing today. Your words create your world.
You ready for couch time with Sonja?
And we're back. Today's episode, When Your Thorn Becomes Your Purpose, is going to be so good.
Yes, and of course talking about thorns.
Yes.
You know, these roses are absolutely gorgeous, but roses have thorns. And the thorns, people might think, are there to harm the rose, but they're actually there to protect the rose.
Isn't that beautiful? They are a beautiful flower. And the thorn can be quite dangerous, but as Sonja said, it does serve a purpose. Yes. Today's story, we get to hear the purpose of our wonderful guest. Yes. Please welcome Ms. Shon Williams.
Welcome, Ms. Shon.
Look how beautiful you look today.
Look gorgeous.
Thanks for being here.
Come on, girl. You know what? Have a seat on the couch. You look absolutely gorgeous, babe.
Thank you.
You're
So do you do.
welcome.
Both of y'all look beautiful.
Thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure.
And on the couch, and you're going to tell us all about your story. I know it, but I can't wait for the audience to hear.
Yes.
It's a little deep.
It is deep, and your story really does matter. But the beautiful thing about it is that you're using your voice. You're not keeping it to yourself. You're using your voice and sharing it with the world.
Trying.
So you know what? First off, let's just dive in. Tell us your story from the beginning.
Back in, I guess, 1993, I was about to have my third son, and I was asked about lupus. And I never heard that word before, never knew what it meant, didn't have a clue what it, and the doctor said, we're going to do an emergency ultrasound and we need to check your heart. So at that time, I thought it was about heart. It has to be if I'm going from here to the cardiologist. But anyway, I didn't know. I ended up having him, and he was early. All the children were pretty much. But that was the first time in my life I heard the word lupus ever. And I didn't know that it was going to play a very big part of my adult life. I had my children young, so a lot of the pain that I suffered with, I just thought they were growing pains. So us as women, we ignore a lot of things.
Yes.
And I did not pay close attention to my body for a while. And shortly after that, when I got back to about 2008, I started really having symptoms of chronic illness. I didn't know what that word meant either. I just knew that I had lupus and I needed to go see a rheumatologist. And I probably need to back a few years because the lupus attacked my kidney first.
I was going to ask you, just because somebody that's watching may not know or understand what lupus is, can you explain what lupus is?
Yes, lupus is an autoimmune disease that attacks your body cells and tissues from the inside out. So your body can no longer build a mechanism to fight itself. It begins to fight against itself. As many cells that are created while we're sleeping, lupus is fighting them and taking them back to zero.
Wow.
So we every day we like refill ourselves. When your body is resting, it gives you a refill.
Right.
So what the disease does is that it fights the refill. Your own body attacks it.
So, and quick question before you continue. Prior to you having your third child, did you notice anything? Were there any other symptoms and signs and you just simply didn't catch them?
I would say I've felt signs ever since high school. I just didn't know what they were because I was so active.
Got it.
And because I was so active, marching and drill team, track, just everything that I thought I was doing was making those pains. And then one day I just started having severe back pain, like back pain that would not go away. Like you could take anything and it wouldn't take it away. And then I went through 2 years of going to every urologist I could find and every doctor. They said they didn't see anything wrong with the kidney. And then finally I went to the right hospital on the right day. And they saw it.
And that's the word right there. The right hospital, the right doctor, on the right day.
On the right day. And they said, well, you have a kidney stone. And I said, I don't think so. I just had a blast. They just checked it. I had a renal scan. I had all the things that I think it's something deeper. So thank God, right doctor, ran more tests and found out that it wasn't. It was because of the lupus. It had enlarged the kidney where it closed itself off at the ureter.
Wow.
And if people don't know what the ureter is,
yes.
It's it's like a stream. It's like a pipe, a little pole that goes from each kidney down into the bladder. So the one on this side had pinched itself off because the kidney was 3 sizes bigger than it should have been. So it was just a dripple getting out. So the bacteria was staying in the kidney, causing it to swell.
Wow.
So I had emergency surgery on on the right kidney, and they did a reconstruction, and I lived with a stent for almost 3 years. And then it just went from there. Like I would get well, then sick, then well. And they didn't really tell me that it was really severe until 2010.
So you walk through this period of time knowing that the issue, having a stent,
right,
but not knowing the severity of really what you were walking through.
Because the doctors, they give you not false hope, but they don't tell you the whole story. They don't say like,
that's so true.
You need to do a life change. You need to start thinking more seriously about what's happening to your body. You may need to lose weight because lupus causes you to be overweight. Your hormones are out of whack. You are just gaining weight by looking at food. So people think that, I got up to 260 pounds and I'm 5 foot even.
Wow.
So we knew something was wrong.
Right.
I just didn't know what, but.
Have you had to change your lifestyle during this time? Did you have to change your eating, or had you not done any of that yet?
No, I didn't face that until 2010.
Wow.
2010 was when I really, really woke up. My baby was 3 months old, and September 29, 2010, I woke up paralyzed, and I could not move. I kept asking my husband, to pull the cover off, and do you see my toes moving? And he was like, no. do you see, am I moving my knee? He said, no. I'm like, are my legs moving? He said, no.
But you knew you were telling your legs to move and telling your toes to move. Right.
Yeah, like I couldn't see them moving, but it felt like they were moving.
Wow,
You know,
that's
because
the brain
it was the brain.
Girl, come on.
Right. It's telling me that it's moving. So he was like, you're not moving. You are still in that same position. So by this time, he's frustrated because it's 20 minutes.
Right.
He's ready to call the ambulance, and I'm fighting. Like, I don't want to go to the hospital. We've been through this already. They don't know nothing.
Right.
So prior to that, because that's a severe, something that we could see, and it's serious. Prior to that, how ill would you get when you had episodes?
It's flu-like symptoms.
Okay.
Like my body aching, tiredness, fatigue.
But nothing to this extremity.
No, and I think it would be easier for another woman to find out faster because they were probably less mobile. I owned 7 centers at that time, 7 schools. So I traveled from school to school. Back then, you could be your own principal at each location. Now you can't. So if they would have did that a long time ago, I probably wouldn't have got that sick.
Right. But I could see why
It
you
would've
were on the
slowed me
go
down.
all the time.
I didn't have time to feel the pain. So when I laid down to sleep, the 3.5 hours that I got each day for the first 12 years, it wasn't enough rest, but it was enough for me. So,
Shon, that's a nugget in itself for our viewers because we're on the go as women and men all the time. That she was on the go so much that she just thought her body was tired, her body was exhausted. But oh my gosh, it was so much more than that.
It was. So I didn't really stop until it stopped me. I guess it felt, I know that God had to say that if I don't step in, she's gonna kill herself. Because at that point, I did not know that I was living with an enlarged heart. Because I had not stopped to go to the doctor. That was one of the reasons why I was feeling so tired. The heart was overworking itself because it was too large to be in the cavity. That the cabinet that holds it, it's only so big, you know, and you can feel it pumping. But I still didn't pay attention to it. I was a mother on the go, a wife on the go, and an entrepreneur on the go. And pretty much that was my focus. I thought about me only at night when I had to wipe away the tears from the pain, you know, thinking that why am I hurting this bad? Like sometimes it would be a pain that I couldn't describe. And I would tell my mom, I just can't tell you how it feels because it hurt so bad. You know, it is a different type of pain. It's not like labor. You know, they describe it as different things, but labor, you know that baby's coming. So you hurting, but you anticipate it at the same time.
There's a reward at the end. Yes.
I know that, and I can truly say, because I've been down there I've been down that road a few times.
Yeah, I heard you say, how many children do you have?
Yeah. 6. So I know that when that labor comes, that you can just get over it. But when you have a chronic disease, you don't know what to do with your body. You can't tell it what to do. It turns on and off. And the reason why they call it autoimmune disease is because that's what it is. It's automatic.
Right.
It turns itself on whenever it feels like it turn off. You go into a flare-up. You go into remission. Then you're back in a flare-up. And stress is the #1 trigger.
And what is it? We live in the society where stress
tell me how to be a woman without stressing, and I will do it today.
Yes.
Between 6 children and the
husband.
businesses, the
Yeah.
spouse.
Yes.
How do you let go of the stress? Is that even possible?
No, not even to this day.
Right.
Not even. I've learned to juggle more, you know, for at least thinking more about myself.
Right.
2010 really changed me. You know, my baby was 3 months at that time, and I said, but when he started walking, I'm going to walk. I'm not going to be in that wheelchair on his first birthday. And that was my motivation. God knew I couldn't just jump in the car and go to those schools, so they had to survive without me.
Right.
He knew that I just couldn't jump in the car and run to one of those kids' schools, so they had to survive without that. And my oldest son and my daughter had to literally run 2 of the schools by themselves.
I think that was an example of her moving towards the relieving stress, that you didn't have to be everywhere all the time.
God had to show me that I couldn't be anymore.
Right.
You know, you gotta stay there. And that was the longest 8 months in my life, but I promised myself if I got back up, I wasn't gonna get back down. But that was not so. Because with this disease, I don't care how strong you are, you get down.
Right.
And you get down.
But
know.
you keep getting up.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what's so
Yes.
inspiring. Is
Yes,
you
yes.
don't,
You have
and
to.
you haven't let this get you down, at least not for long.
No,
You're exactly
people
right.
always say, well, you don't look sick. Well, that's the worst thing to say.
Right.
That is one of the worst things to say to somebody who's fighting for their life.
Right.
You know, and that was one of the reasons why my thorn became my passion.
Yes.
Is because I needed to show people that you don't have to look sick to be sick. You don't have to look like you're dying to be dying. You
That's
know,
so good,
and
Shon.
I don't want to wait until I'm a skeleton laying in the bed, can't move, because you eventually become statualized. You don't move. Like you can't move, you can't freely move. You're eventually going to be paralyzed.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Yeah.
But
yeah,
we know that that's not what you say.
I should have been there already. I mean, you know, they said I was not going to walk again. That was
Right.
that. It was too much damage to my sciatic nerve. The nerves were damaged. It was just too much. So you know, I said, well, hey, you know, I'm not going to let this little boy see me in this wheelchair. None of the other kids had to do that with their mommy, and I'm not going to do this last one like that. So I played myself hard every day. I had a nurse that came to the house. I had a PT, which is a physical therapy, and I had an occupational therapist that worked with my upper body, and my speech was not totally impaired, but it was, I would slur. You know, like,
Yes.
because one of the things that I got in 2010, I was diagnosed with not just lupus, but I have Sjogren's syndrome, and I have RA. So now RA is
So now you're dealing with 3.
I'm dealing with 4.
4. Okay, so you heard that what she did is she had that drive, which was her baby. They gave her that extra drive to continue to push through. But there's more to Shon's story. There's now 4 illnesses that she's dealing with, and we're going to talk about those when we return.
For couch time with Sonja. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Are you ready for couch time with Sonja? I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Are you ready for couch time with Sonja? Sometimes you need to hear something that will help you grow.
Let's be honest. Making a lukewarm marketing video is fairly simple. But who wants lukewarm marketing? Instead, how about something that conveys your unique message? Well, that takes creativity, and creative is what we are. We design custom logos. We even offer professional print services. Our goal is to showcase how good your idea is, no matter what your product is. Whether it's social media marketing for a new author or the artwork for the book itself, we can help. You've created a new app and need a TV commercial to show it to the world. We can help.
Now there's Stork Advisor.
If you're a photographer trying to show off your work in a unique way, we can help. Need a promo for your TV show? We can help with that too.
It's couch time with Sonja.
We're an artistic bunch and we love the creative process. We're not trying to be the best in Houston. We're trying to be the best for you.
CEO Jalea Davis is making history by becoming the youngest African-American female to own a television station in the nation. Along with her colleague, President Crystal Holmes, these women are becoming a part of the 1.3% African-American television station ownership. Get ready for iconic television, an all-new channel coming to your TV on KVVV Channel 15.10, covering Houston's local inspiration, entertainment, health, wellness, fitness, family, visual artists, comedians, and more. Streaming 24/7 on iconictelevision.com. Be sure to stay tuned for the latest and greatest on Iconic Television, where everyone can be iconic. When
we went to break, we left hearing all about Shon Williams' battle. her battle with 4 major diseases. She has been such an inspiration to me, hearing how you are really overcoming. But it's not over. She has so much more to share. But before we do that, I just want to give a very heartfelt thank you to Shon. So before we continue, I just want to tell you, thank you for your inspiration. I have a family member who also battles lupus, and I worry about her quite a bit and whether or not she can overcome. And in hearing you and seeing you get up time and time again gives me hope for her. So thank you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
You're such an inspiration. But I know that, it's not just you. You have an entire family that supports you, but that also is living with this. Right. But there was something you said that was just so profound. Can you say what you said during break about your family?
I said my husband also has the 4 diseases as well, because he goes to bed with it. He wakes up with it, every single day. When I'm in the hospital, he's in the hospital. When we're battling it together, when I'm at my worst, and it's really hard for him, but he knows how to get through it. He knows how to take care of me better than the doctors, most 90% of the time. And then my children, they're also fighting for diseases because they're fighting to learn about the diseases, what to look for next, how to learn the warning signs. Because the reason why I did that part of it is because I was so afraid that I was going to ignore the wrong sign. A few years back, I started having seizures, real bad seizures. So I had to stop driving. And it took a lot out of me to not be able to drive.
Your independence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been on my own and married since I was 16. So I've been somebody's mama since I was 15. I don't know if I can say that.
Yeah, of course you can. Of course, that's your story.
Absolutely.
Like I said, we don't hide stories here.
So I've been somebody's mama since I was 15 years old in the 11th grade at Jones. So I decided that at that time that it was time for my children to learn exactly what their mother suffered with, because they were upset with me that I hid it from them during their childhood, the older 4.
But you were trying to protect them,
was
so
trying
you
to
thought,
protect them,
to not put the stress on them.
or worry.
Yeah.
And especially Joshua, the oldest, because he was already seeing the difference, because he's mommy's first.
Right.
So he saw that there was some changes, but he didn't know what they were. And I didn't want, it was always, I don't want to mess up this one's graduation, or I don't
There
want to
was
mess
always
up
a
this one's
special
birthday.
occasion.
It was
Yeah.
always something. Like, I can't stop and go into the hospital right now
Right.
because we're already planning this and that. So it's hard.
Well, you've turned that thorn, though, into your passion.
did,
And you
I
are
did.
using your voice. And
I did.
we know we want to hear more about it, but we definitely want our audience to hear about really what you're doing.
I started a nonprofit organization. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and the name is Find a Cure for Our Daughters, Inc. I am the founder and the CEO. My son is the COO, which is Joshua, and we run the company together, and we are advocates for chronic illness. So chronic illness covers lupus, Sjogren's, MS. It's about 50 of them, the chronic illnesses. People just hear of lupus because everybody, it's the hog of the chronic illness. It's just like cancer is kind of the hog of the deadly diseases that people don't talk about, heart disease as well as they'll talk about cancer. So in our community, lupus trumps. You go there first
Right.
because you normally are diagnosed with that one first. It's supposed to be the worst. But at this point, RA is my worst. So when I started the nonprofit organization, it was to just educate women that you don't have to give up. You don't have to die alone. You're not in this by yourself. You have other sisters that are alone just like you are and confused. And when you leave that doctor's office, they give you the test results, the ANA. They'll tell you that this is what it is, and we're going to have to find a treatment. And we're going to try regimens is what they use. We're going to try different regimens until we can get your counts down and get your numbers down. Well, what does that mean to a regular person?
Correct. That
what
is
does
so
that
true.
mean if I tell you that?
Right.
and you leave.
'Cause
That's
that means
the
you're
only
gonna
thing
try.
you get for those 15 minutes that they have explained to you. There's no going sitting in his office for an hour and explaining to me, you just told me that I have an uncurable disease. There's no cure, but we're going to find a regimen to do what? What is that regimen supposed to do for me? So that's why I started Find a Cure for Our Daughters, because every woman on this planet is a daughter.
That's so true.
You're a daughter. You may not be a wife, you may not be a sister, but it's one thing you cannot be as a woman, and that's a daughter.
That's so true.
Yes.
So Find a Cure for Our Daughters was birthed for that very reason. I want mothers to start testing their daughters early. Early detection stops the disease in its tracks from progressing.
And what is that test?
It's called an A&A.
A&A.
And they also have a new one called Vectra. And it tells you if you are, once you already have it, how bad you have it, and if the regimen is working. I just went through an 18-month regimen that did nothing.
Wow.
So when I had my blood work done, it was like I did not take any of the chemo that I had taken for 18 months because it did not even stop the disease from progressing.
So that there's a chance that it won't do
that
anything.
regimen won't work.
And then there's a chance that it will.
It will.
So
it can take it into remission, or it can take it to, it can speed it up.
So in the midst of that, it could and it could not.
Every
Your
90
program
days,
truly
we help them.
Steps in the gap.
Yeah. Make sure that they're getting to their doctor's appointments and they're educated beyond what your doctor's telling you. Swollen feet don't always mean you have fluid. Swollen feet could mean that you're in the first stages of drop foot. It could also mean that you're in the first stages of high blood pressure. It can also mean you're in the first stages of some kind of blood clotting. And so it's different things that it may cause, but they automatically, you're so afraid, and they're reading the internet that tells you the worst side effects ever.
Yes.
Can we please say that again?
Yes, they need to stop that.
The internet is a good thing, but it is a bad thing.
It is not good when you're sick. It is your worst enemy.
Yes.
Because just go ahead and Google it. If you want to have a bad day, go ahead and just Google one of those diseases. If you need to cry, have a good cry, just go ahead and Google one of them, because it's going to put you in that area where you're going to break down.
We're in this day and time where whenever there's anything going on, you hear everybody, just Google it.
Just Google it.
Just Google it. But that's not really the case in every situation, especially in this.
No, I want them to just call me. Just call the office, call me, email me, talk. I'm in the hospital, as you've seen before, still talking,
you sure
still
are.
answering the phone. The nurses are surprised. They'll walk in. I'm praying for somebody that couldn't sleep. And we suffer with insomnia, something terrible. I mean, it is horrible. It's like a demon. If you get 3 hours of sleep, it's a miracle. So I know that I'm not the only one suffering with that, but thank God for my husband. But you got another sister, another daughter somewhere that don't have that husband that's suffering, and she's in her bed crying right now. And that's why I personally answer the hotline myself 24/7.
That is so
because I don't want them to get someone who can help them through a situation
Or doesn't
and
quite
saying, I
understand.
understand. You do. I understand because I'm up. I'm up too.
Well, you're living.
I'm awake
You're
right
living
now
through
with
this.
You know.
All this is amazing, that you would care so much about others to do this, but that's not all you're doing.
Not at all. Come on, they're gonna need another rest.
So we start with the foundation. We have Fighting for Her Life magazine, and what Fighting for Her Life is, it's a magazine that truly allows them to tell their own story to the world. So they're able to get their story out and say how they got it, how they found out about it, what they're doing with it, how they thought. Some people have lost their fingers, lost toes. I mean, you have to wear prosthetics. You lose your hair. You can go blind. I mean, so there's so much more. And first I said, I want to write a book. I'm going to write books. I'm just going to keep writing books, chapters of my journey. And then God said, no, you need something that's going to help everybody. If that's what you set out to do with one of the foundations, then set out to do that with this magazine. So it tells everybody's story, and they get to put their story in for free.
See, that is so beautiful.
And they get to tell what
So
they're
there,
going through.
inside that magazine is each person that is walking through lupus or any autoimmune disease. That is beautiful.
Right. They get to tell their stories, and we give their spouses time to do it, to vent as well. So educating the patient is not enough. You must educate the entire family.
I've been seeing something too about, I know that you walk side by side. There's a lupus pageant that happens.
They're going to, actually it's another 501c3 organization that's having a lupus pageant. And then we're walking in it as Find a Cure for Our Daughters. We support each other. Of course, we need to support each other. And so that we're doing that this coming up March the 9th. So I'll be one of their honorees that day. And then I have my own event coming up on March 23rd, and I'm having a conference called Save Me, I'm Dying.
That is beautiful. That's going to be annual too, right?
Yes, every year. Well, I do it every year, but we call it something different every year. But this year, because of what I went through last year,
led you to this.
I could not, because that's the closest time I felt to dying. I've never felt death before. These whole 25 years of having this disease, I've never felt that close to death until last year.
Well, we definitely, man, what you're doing, Shon, God bless you. God bless you. And just your passion and your heart to serve the community. She has her foundation. We definitely want you to be able to find information about her foundation, her magazine. Would you please tell them how they can find you? What's your website? What's your social media handles?
Yes, ma'am. So my website is www.fightingforherlife.com, and you can go on there and find out anything you want. My Facebook page is Shon Williams, and that's my personal page, but I talk about it all day long on the personal page. The foundation page on Facebook is fightingforherlife.com. No, just Fighting for Her Life on that one, and then it's Find a Cure for Our Daughters.inc on Facebook.
Well, I am so grateful that you came today to sit on the couch.
I am too.
Share with us today, but I know that you have blessed many. If you're sitting and you're watching today and you are dealing with any type of autoimmune disease and you're looking for a friend, you're looking for a sister, you're looking for someone to kind of walk through this with you, please reach out to Shon Williams. Please find her on her social media. And if you by any chance forget, you know you can always come to us at couchtimewithsonya.com, and that's Sonja with a J. We hope and pray that you are definitely enjoying hearing, but we'll be right back.
Connect with fellow millennials, creatives, professionals, and entrepreneurs within the all-new millennial community. Join in and get connected with local events, volunteer opportunities, and mentorship programs with the next generation. For more information, visit themillennialcommunity.com and become a member today. Membership includes access to special events, networking events, and civic engagement opportunities. Check out our online calendar for upcoming event opportunities, such as Millennial Think Tanks, community building events, the new Sea Live experience, and much more. Members will also be invited to join an online membership group, have opportunities to pair with local students in the Houston community for mentorship programs. Follow us on all social media platforms and get connected with the millennial community today.
Are you ready for Couch Time with Sonja?
Welcome back to another edition of the Entrepreneur's Corner with your boy, Fred Vernon. Today we're going to cover an interesting topic called GTG, or Growth Through Grants. Typically, a lot of people think that you have to go out and hire a grant writer to gain a grant. Well, I'm here to tell you today that you can actually do it yourself. Grant writing is not very difficult. It's actually like a business plan or a startup pro forma. Every day, every year, every month, the government and different non-for-profit and for-profit entities have issues that they need solutions for. So what they do is they create grants and programs so that different entrepreneurs and other different organizations can come in and help them solve their problems. So they issue a grant to help fund research or help fund your business. So you can actually hire a grant writer, but make sure that grant writer is not only a grant writer, make sure they're a grant writer and a grant finder. So they're finding you the grants and they're also applying for the grants. That way they're adding bang for the buck that you're going to pay for them. Additionally, when you want to do work for a government or economic development corporation, those are also different ways to fund your business or get your business propelled via government contracts or grants. Economic development corporations are business and government entities that are actually funded by tax-based revenue, where they will issue grants for you to either create jobs, any kind of economic development, or move your business or headquarters to that particular area. So when you're looking to grow your business, consider growing it through grants and not just traditional capitalization. So what you could do is take it up for yourself. Go and write your own grants. Do your research, do your studying, and apply for yourself.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Are you ready for couch time with Sonja? I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Are you ready for couch time with Sonja? Sometimes you need to hear something that will help you grow.
Let's be honest. Making a lukewarm marketing video is fairly simple. But who wants lukewarm marketing? Instead, how about something that conveys your unique message? Well, that takes creativity, and creative is what we are. We design custom logos. We even offer professional print services. Our goal is to showcase how good your idea is, no matter what your product is. Whether it's social media marketing for a new author or the artwork for the book itself, we can help. You've created a new app and need a TV commercial to show it to the world. We can help.
Now there's Stork Advisor.
If you're a photographer trying to show off your work in a unique way, we can help. Need a promo for your TV show? We can help with that too.
It's couch time with Sonja.
We're an artistic bunch and we love the creative process. We're not trying to be the best in Houston. We're trying to be the best for you.
CEO Jalea Davis is making history by becoming the youngest African-American female to own a television station in the nation. Along with her colleague, President Crystal Holmes, these women are becoming a part of the 1.3% African-American television station ownership. Get ready for iconic television, an all-new channel coming to your TV on KVVV Channel 15.10, covering Houston's local inspiration, entertainment, health, wellness, fitness, family, visual artists, comedians, and more. Streaming 24/7 on iconictelevision.com. Be sure to stay tuned for the latest and greatest on Iconic Television, where everyone can be iconic.
Today's segment, When Your Thorn Becomes Your Purpose, has been so good. Shon Williams' story was amazing. If you missed any part of it, be sure you go back and watch it. She shared some wonderful information, and I know you don't want to miss it.
Very much so, but just like us, we've walked through those things where we've carried thorns, and many things are, yes, for the moment, we don't understand it really, but have you kind of walked through anything in your life that's...
Some of us are still carrying the thorns. I deal with chronic back pain, and some days it's hard to walk. Some people don't realize, because I smile, because I wear makeup every day, and I'm still living life, they don't realize the pain that I live with every single day. But guess what? I'm not like Shon. I'm not going to let that stop me. It's about every day picking up that cross, and you just keep moving forward. So if this is your situation, don't give up.
That's right. Well, also, she talked about being misdiagnosed with fibromyalgia. Well, I remember the moment that I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I really didn't even want to say the word, because I was like, no. And trying to ignore everything that was going on in my body. And of course, as women, that's what we do sometimes. And men, even as men,
Right.
we ignore what's going on in our body. But because I started paying attention and going to the doctor, they did diagnose me. But I took that and snatched that right back because no, I am not walking and living with fibromyalgia. But I had to change my whole lifestyle. Just like Shon said, she had until she found out really what was going on. Then she had to change her lifestyle.
Her diet, her exercise. I mean, she mentioned everything.
Everything, yes.
You know, you mentioned something, and so did she, in regards to misdiagnosis.
Yes.
It's important for those of you that are out there and potentially looking at some type of diagnosis, don't be afraid to get a second opinion.
Yes. Yes. Second opinion does not mean that you didn't believe the first. It just means you want to make sure. So you go the extra mile and allow someone else, because she was misdiagnosed twice.
Right.
So that means it's okay. You definitely want to take time to do that.
You know, we were truly inspired. We hope that you were. We hope that what she said resonated somewhere in you and gives you that hope if you're battling, you have a fight that you think you can't win.
Yes. And always remember, you are a rose. And if you're a gentleman, we're going to say, and you are a tough rose. But we want you to know that, yes, thorns may be in your life, but also remember the thorns have purpose. Find your purpose. Find why. Why did it happen? We may not ever understand that, but find purpose in it, not just for you, but for someone else that's around you. We hope you enjoyed the show today, and we hope that you'll continue to follow us on all of our social media outlets at Couch Time with Sonja, and that's Sonja with the J. And then, of course, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram. Go and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And then, of course, always our website, couchtimewithsonya.com. Have a wonderful and blessed week. Bye-bye.
I'm ready for this. Are you ready for couch time with Sonja? Sometimes you need to hear something that will help you grow, or maybe need a break, refreshing for your mind and soul. Well, take a seat, 'cause we got what you need and more. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Are you ready for couch time with Sonja? Ooh.
It's Couch Time with Sonja. Let's go.